Hi, my name is Angie. I'm a paramedic, I'm a reservist, and I'm also the director of a charity called PAWS, which rehabilitates and rehomes working dogs and military dogs.
This video is sponsored by Offensive Veteran. For 10% off early apparel, use this code. Welcome everybody, Russ McDonnell, aka the Nomadic Veteran, and welcome to this week's video and episode 9 of the Vet Files. This week's guest, Angie McDonnell. Okay, strictly speaking, Angie isn't a veteran. She is currently a reservist in the army, and a few years ago, her and a few friends started a charity which basically rehabilitates and rehomes working and military dogs. So, Angie is the voice to these veteran dogs. Here's Angie, here's Vida, enjoy.
So years ago I decided to become a paramedic, mainly because it was a job that ticked all the boxes. Driving, helping people, being out in the fresh air. And it was something I kind of fell into, but then loved from the first time I did it. I'd always wanted to be in the army. I tried to join the army when I was 16, 17. Unfortunately got told I had asthma, so I joined the reserves. Eventually when I was 32, I believe, somewhere around there. Quite old to be joining the army, but for me it's been the best decision I ever did. So the basic training for me, because I was older and I'm quite short obviously in stature, it was difficult, but I loved it because I've always danced or done martial arts or some sort of fitness, so I relished the fitness side of it and learning all the new skills and field craft and stuff. I was in my element doing that. My job title now, I'm a corporal, but I'm also a military registered paramedic as well as a state registered paramedic. So I went on operations to Herrick, to Afghanistan, so I was on Herrick 17, and that was from October 12 to April 13. I wish I'd been able to do a lot more ops because I loved it. Yes, there were bad times, obviously, and yes, I ended up losing 6 weeks due to illness while I was there and having surgery, but I would go back tomorrow if I could, just for the fact you're surrounded by your friends and people you think of as family. I've been very lucky in the fact that I managed to do a lot of exercise. I've been to Kenya, America, Canada. I've travelled a lot of places with the army, and for that I'm very thankful. I think for me, the bit I love really about being in the army is the people. You're never going to meet such a strange bunch of people put together doing the same thing. And the friendships that you form with these people, I think they're lifelong friendships. I truly have made best friends for life by people that I've met in the army. And it's the same mindset and the same humour. It's something you can't find anywhere else. Even in the ambulance service, they're still not as savage as the army. PAWS was formed when there was 4 of us that had all rehomed military working dogs. And we could all see the shortfall basically in there was no facilities for the dogs after they finished service. And that's something we wanted to change passionately, because we've all got these dogs and we know how fantastic they are. These dogs have also saved our lives in theatre, and they've been our morale when we've hit rock bottom. And they deserve this retirement. They deserve a fantastic retirement. And that's what we intend to make sure they get. So they're whelped in litters and labelled with whichever letter of the alphabet is next. Vida got his name because it's a V batch. The litters, the dogs are selected then for which dogs show promise in working. They're given their initial discipline and then they're sold to the armies. Vida and his brother Vroom came to the British Army. Their sister Vesk went to Norwegian Army. So there's no rhyme or reason where they go. They're then taught their skill, so search dog, bite dog, security dog, whatever skills they've got. And then they're sent in to wherever they're needed, whether it's to patrol the base, to the docks, to do search, to theatre, to do bomb disposal, wherever they're needed. And after that, they're taken back into their kennels, usually on a base, such as one military working dog. And that's where they're kept until either they're rehomed or their life is ended, which is sad.
What deems the army to then say that these dogs are no longer fit for role?
I think with a lot of dogs, my example with Vida, he became bang shy. Don't Google that, you'll get the really wrong answer. So he got a gun shy. He responded badly every time there was an explosion or a crack or a weapon firing off, and he didn't want to search anymore. So that made him obsolete in that area. But Vida's strength is his person skills, is that he loves humans, and he's very good at his job. He loves to search. So he was then used for training new handlers. Some dogs are, you know, they've got that urge to want to rip your throat out. Fantastic security dogs, we'll have them. We all want to be safe on base, don't we? And that's, you know, I don't know, I mean, these dogs, I just find these dogs phenomenal in every role that they do, because their ability and their want to work surpasses anything that's going on with them, such as illness and that. And that's the army, when they get too tired, too old, too ill, or just lose the will to work, that's when the army says, okay, we're done with them, and then they're put in kennels. I can't argue the army has got a fantastic vet care, you know, and they do medically look after these dogs well. When it comes to the psychological issues for these dogs, this is where we need the quiet time, we need the quiet sanctuary. And these dogs need time to understand that they're not in that environment anymore. They can unwind, and you know what, life can actually be fun. It's not all about work. And that's where we need to be able to give them the time for it. And it's the same as dealing with a soldier with PTSD. You find out the cause and you find out the triggers, and then you work on that, and you help the dog to understand this is better, this is another way of dealing with things. Same as, you know, we do with therapy, we give people a way of dealing with their PTSD and their triggers. Exactly what we do with the dogs. You know, I've dealt with this now for 7 years with Vida. He's got his triggers and he's got his problems, but as I would just with my best mates, you know, who had problems, we deal with them. We find out what they are and we deal with them. We start with an application form, and that moves on to a telephone conversation. That moves on to surprise home check, surprise, which there will be a couple of. That moves on to them meeting the dog under supervision, and that has to happen a few times, as well as any member of the family, including distant family that are going to be in contact with the dog. Everybody's required to come up and meet the dog. We want to see how you interact, how you manage, how the dog reacts to you. You know, it's not a given that you're going to get these dogs, but because they are so precious. So there's very stringent checks. We will check your home, we will check your background, we will check you. But at the same time, if you're a good match for these dogs, then, you know, that makes our day. To put a dog in the right home is everything, because that's, you know, that's what they deserve, the right home. We've had quite a battle, to be honest, on getting this charity running, because, well, number one, we've got 2 girls in Scotland and I'm in London. We all work full time, and one's got a baby now. So you can imagine that we're doing this on, you know, as part of our working day. It's busy, but it's one of those things you have to commit to. You have to be 100% committed, and all of you on the same song sheet before you even think about starting this. And, you know, there is ups and downs. You will find, you know, one thing I'm going to say to you is get an admin person, a really good admin person, before you start. It took us a while to figure that one out, but it's worth the battle. No matter what the ups and downs, and there are going to be plenty, just keep fighting through, take them each one at a time, and then move on. We are the only charity that we know that is doing rehoming working dogs. You obviously have your Police Dog Federation and Guide Dog for the Blind and things like that, but we're the only one that we know of that are doing military working dogs and police dogs and sort of MPGS and Port Authority and RAF and all of the dogs that work for the country. We're the only ones we know that are rehoming these dogs. Our main hope for the future is the sanctuary. To get the sanctuary up and running, we need the charity number to get the funding. We need people, you know, to donate, to follow, to get behind us. And we need the funding to get in so we can get this sanctuary open. Once we have this sanctuary open, we're in a strong position to say to the army and, you know, anybody like the police, we're helping police out at the moment as well. Yes, we can take that dog. At the moment, it's a struggle because obviously we're borrowing kennels everywhere. But once we have this sanctuary open, then this is when the real work can begin, and we can really help a lot more dogs that deserve to have a fantastic retirement. don't even think there's words. There's no words for what that boy means to me. There isn't. I've said it before, he's my heartbeat. He's everything I do is around this, is geared around him. From jobs that I take to work that I do. I now have a contract which is perfect for him. You know, I have to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, but it suits him because he gets more time with me. I'm moving house again because, you know, he's not getting good at stairs. And I'll do this, and I'll sacrifice, and I'll do whatever I can to make his life the best it possibly can be, because he deserves it. You know, he gives me nothing but unconditional love. And to walk in the door and see that face and the tail wag and just, you know, the cuddles, it's everything. He's everything to me. And he makes me laugh because he's a div. I'm hoping the future's gonna be a bit longer. Beda's got his health issues now. He's got, you wouldn't believe it from the way he's acting now, but he's got a horrible arthritis and he's also got a bad spine, which is causing his back legs to go. And as much as I make his life as comfortable as possible and I carry him up and down the stairs, we're going camping in a couple of weeks. We're going to go, and I'm going to travel the country with him, and, you know, people who haven't got to meet him yet are going to get to meet him. I think he's behind me somewhere playing. And I'm going to take him and get him swimming in the lakes, and we're going to camp by the fires, and he's going to eat sausages and do all the things that, you know, he's going to love doing, because I don't know how much longer he's got. But until that day comes, he's going to have the best possible life. Absolutely. Until you take your last breath, it's never too late. You can change anything. I went to war at 37, you know, and everybody was said, oh, you'll never do it, you'll never be able to do it, you'll never physically be able to do it. And that's, I did it, you know, and I went back twice, thank you very much, even after getting surgery. So it's never too late to do these things. I'm 47 now, and I'm looking at the next chapter of getting this sanctuary open and travelling and, you know, going out with, you know, doing things, because God, there's a big world out there and there's a lot of things to do. Do what makes you happy. If your heart says I want to do that, do it.
And what an awesome story. I want to say a massive thank you to Angie and Vida for coming down and chatting to me. Of course we did a podcast. It's awesome. I'll put the link in the description box below. If you'd like to know a bit more about Hero Paws or how you can help or even donate, I'll put their website in the description box below. And that is about it for this week. Usual admin. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up. If you'd like to comment or share the video, please do. And of course the big one, please subscribe to the channel. It'll help us be able to push the vet files to an even bigger audience. Apart from that, I think we're done. Laters.